shall we? Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this game of Hearts of Iron 4, and I have no idea what's going on, because I've been away for a week, or just over a week, in fact. So we are currently playing as the Australasian Union. We have gone Syndicalist, and we successfully survived the, I guess you'd call it a civil war against New Zealand, because New Zealand are also part of Australasia, in which they joined the Entente and called in the entirety of the Entente against us. We weathered that storm, we launched a rather crazy assault on New Zealand, retook it, and then the Entente decided to piece us out. So, we are now fully independent. We have not joined any of the different factions, so we are standing alone at the moment. Although I do believe that we have the opportunity of joining the Third Internationale at some point. Yeah, we can do it down here. Although the Third Internationale has to be at war with the Entente. Oh no, I can do it if I'm just at peace. Oh, okay. Because I wasn't at peace previously, and the Commonwealth of Canada was not at war with the Union of Britain. So, yeah, I think we'll be fine. We have a couple of decisions, which is prospecting for new resources. We're currently going for the aluminium, which we need quite desperately. I don't think we need any of the other stuff. Well, actually, that's not true. We could actually do with a little bit more steel, potentially. Do I want to spend the points on this, though? We are still early mobilization. We have not yet gone to partial or even war economy. We never had the opportunity. In fact, we're not going to be able to do that because we're not at war. Oh no, that's not true. We can actually partially mobilize now because we have the war support up, thanks to having been at war. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then we have some more recruits in training. We have a couple more being recruited. No Discord announcement. I already did one. Did I not press enter? No, it's there. I did. It's under stream notifications. Don't panic me like this. Naval war is going to be intense as Australasia now that I'm a syndicalist. Exactly. Yeah, it definitely will be. Although I am a little bit concerned about the lack of oil supplies. So the Navy is not going to be nearly as active as I would like it to be, simply because we don't have oil. Hopefully we'll be able to start importing some. Or else we'll just have to develop some syndicalist oil production special projects. Oh, I'd never seen that category before. That's because we are currently trying to develop aluminium supplies in Australasia. Fair enough. El Salvador has declared war on Guatemala, Nicaragua as well, as soon as I unpause. If you're at war with the Entente, then you can join the Third Internationale and drag them into the war. They have to be in war with the Entente already. If you're at peace, you can join anytime you like. Yes. But they weren't already at war when I was at war. German Empire took 3 states. Has the Second World kicked off? It has. Oh yeah, the very, very dangerous bickering over Switzerland, which I suspect France is actually going to lose. Because they're at war with everything. Crikey, I was convinced the Canadians had gotten you. Long live the revolution, comrade. Now to fix Papua New Guinea's misguided political system. Thank you, Sindrin. And thank you very much for the bits, too. Quite like joining the Japanese as Australasia and fighting my way across the Pacific, then attacking Canada or the USA. Well, I kind of fancied just going completely into the deep end against anyone who had any ships whatsoever. And that's what we've done. Except for the British. We're not going to be fighting them. End of the Depression. We can get rid of recovering from the Depression now. And then we can start actually industrializing, which is very high time. And we need to have at least 35 factories to do this. And we also cannot be recovering from the Depression. So getting rid of this and grabbing these factories will allow me to get my next research slot, which is badly needed. We need to get up to 5 as quickly as we can. Finally, we have pulled ourselves out of the doldrums of depression. Australasia can march into the future. Its economy a shining example for others to follow. How was my break? My break was awesome. As weird as it may sound to enjoy being in the middle of a field with no running water, no working toilets, and cooking on wood fires, it's surprisingly relaxing. It's like a completely different speed of life. Like you set aside like 3 hours to do a meal because it's going to take you that long to collect the wood supplies, to get the fires going. And also, I'm a scout leader. This is a scout camp, working with a bunch of teenagers and trying to actually get them to do stuff. The Commune of Hawaii has joined the Third Internationale. Okay, we can't lose. And we also got a bunch of political power. Why? Oh, because we seek those new markets. Gotcha. Which is also going to allow me to go partial mobilization right now. Boop. Then the war economy is going to require a bunch more war support. When you're constantly on technology and computers doing some nice simple things away from it all, it's nice, I know the feeling. Yeah, exactly. Denmark and the Commune of France have made peace. Okay. It actually looks like France is holding, at least against the Germans. Against the Italians, I'm not convinced. Although they are still fighting in the Alps, with the exception of this one province. Oh no, that's... yeah, see, holding the areas around that's going to be difficult. But Grenoble, mighty Grenoble, has not yet fallen. And the British have done another naval invasion of Ireland. Now, do I have a stockpile of guns? No. Okay, I can't send any. I think it's because I'm trying to train these guys still. Oh, and the other thing I should definitely do is name some armies after patrons. So the army group is going to be Army Group Aracore.
Where's next, sir?
And then the Australian army is going to be Lionhearted.
What are your orders, sir?
The New Zealand army is going to be Valiant Val. And I'm not going to bother renaming the training army. Okay. Russian Empire took 2 states. Georgia was annexed. Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
And your training is very nearly done. Problem with Cindy Australasia is that you really need the Communist France to win, or at least hold it out well against the Germans. I like the new rules things where you can pick the options, so you can make the Germans deal with endless rebellions in the Reichspakt to give France a chance. Why are they all on reserve? Because these are tiny, tiny units. I'm spreading my very limited manpower as much as I can. Nationalist victory in South Africa after a contentious election which has divided the Union of South Africa in two. The National Party, led by JBM Hertzog, has declared victory, though with the slimmest of majorities in the country's parliament. The other question, actually, is how many troops do I have in total now? 16, 17. Need another 3, then I could technically send volunteers. Hey, boss man. And there it is. Canadian Commonwealth has declared war on the Union of Britain. Okay. The Second World War is now really kicked off in earnest. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that Ireland is going to be just this massive thorn in the side of the communists for a very, very long time. And actually, let's go and take a look at the Second World War. Because I'd like to see the number of losses. 1.1 million to 649,000. Okay, losses aren't terrible yet. It's actually Britain that's lost the most. And Australasia and Italy. Like, Germany's actually done nothing. And I'm going to assume that this is Britain trying to take freaking Ireland. Yeah, Britain's just going to sap themselves doing that. That's irritating. Fortress Ireland is going to become a thing. War propaganda. We could build up our war support. Oh, trade missions. Here we are. I'm going to send a trade mission to the Baratia commune. Australasian Trade Office has prepared a mission to the Baratia commune in order to increase the volume of trade between our two countries. Baratia market has been resistant to these efforts in the past, and the distance is a difficult obstacle to overcome. But new destinations for Australasian goods are sorely needed. Do it. And we also very desperately need to increase our stability. So when we can do the improved worker conditions, that would also be a good move.
What are your orders, sir?
Okay, you have finished.
Where to?
Are you telling me you need 4 units? No, you just need the 3. Well, I'm going to send you a 4th, just in case.
Yes, sir.
And off you go. Good. And then these 3, once they are done, can join the main Australian force. Who's saying they require 11, we're currently on 13. So it gives me a little bit of surplus that we can move around if necessary. Are there any big changes planned for Kaiserreich, like the overhaul to all the political stuff? Are they just adding more focuses to countries? I don't know. That would be a question for the Kaiserreich team. Really need CNTFAI to win in Spain, otherwise Third National's in deep trouble. Yeah, I know. I'm not entirely convinced they will, because they've been just throwing away manpower. I don't think there's very much I can do to support them, because they are out of manpower. Car lists will be soon too. Okay, superior firepower doctrine. Do we want dispersed or integrated support? Probably integrated, so I can use as few infantry divisions as possible. Huzzah! Absolution coming in with another tier 3 subscription. Thank you so much for that. 3-month subscription. Thank you. Thank you. I really do appreciate that support. You're awesome. Any interest in doing Millennium Dawn? Not really. I played it once and I really disliked it. Dispersed would let me run with support companies, but then I'd still be using more infantry in the divisions. Or if I go integrated and kind of rely on having a slightly better industry, then I can make units which hit really sodding hard and still have support companies for things like hospitals, engineers. This really is a question of industry. Like, how industrial am I expecting us to be? Not hugely. We do, however, have a lot of tungsten. So producing artillery is like the one thing we can do. Yeah, we have loads of tungsten. We have more tungsten than we have steel. At the moment. I know there are a lot of things to develop steel production. I think I'm going to go integrated. Sorry, no, dispersed. I meant dispersed. Integrated is the support ones. Yeah, we're going dispersed. Line artillery. Saves us on a little bit of manpower. Can I send volunteers? No, I don't have the 20 divisions required. Hey, Fanro. The Baratia trade deal has been approved. Excellent. The Australasian trade missions returned from the Baratia commune, declaring their mission a success. Gain political power. Excellent. So I could start working on improved working conditions at this point. Or... no, I can't get war economy yet. I think it's got to be, really. We need that stability boost. I mean, it is going up naturally because of the low stability. Let's do it now. And the aluminium has been developed. There is some more aluminium in New South Wales that we can go for as well. Although we need to have done the Seek New Resources branch. which is... I'm actually sure where that is. There. Farmers request assistance for the emu culling. Don't do it! It's not worth it! Farmers in Walgulan and Burakopin have petitioned the government to help cull a rather large gathering of emus in the area. They ask for planes to drop small bombs on large gatherings, along with soldiers armed with machine guns to shoot down the rest, similar to the failed attempt in 1932. The Chief Game Inspector, Mr. A. Arnold, stated the situation did not warrant mass extermination of the birds, and that inspectors had not spotted any of the so-called reported mass gatherings. The state government has also denied the request on the basis of Mr. Arnold's observation. A war on the emus is unnecessary. Ecuador and Peru have made peace. Oh yeah, Argentina went communist. Germany just declared war on Denmark. That's interesting. And how's the American Civil War? I mean, if we could get the CSA to win this one, then that would be a pretty big deal. No longer get the benefits of government reforms. We're also about to finish the end of the Depression. Which is going to be good. And there it is. We are no longer in the Depression. So we can build up our infrastructure. Or we could get the civilian factories going so that we can industrialize ourselves faster. Although right now we are just building shipyards. I think I'm going to get the infrastructure, and then the civies, and then the militaries. Our nation encompasses vast swathes of open land, and crossing them is the most important part of encouraging economic growth. A recent commission promises that a state-funded program to ensure every Australasian is employed in the construction of new infrastructure could last us for decades, if not more. Huzzah! Mobilizing the entire country to build roads. Interesting. Commander Faceless, thank you very much for the resubscription. Hola! Back to the Mordlings. 7-month resub. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Doing a Germany playthrough in Kaiserreich myself right now, and they have a decision that lets them declare war on Denmark if Germany is at war with the Union and Britain, either Sweden or Norway, I think. Ah, I see. The thing that weirded me out a little bit was Denmark joined the Reichspakt, then left the Reichspakt, then Germany declared war on Denmark. About 6 months later. Or less than that, it's like 2 months later. Sorting out the tea supplies. Can't be playing this without tea. How can you play Hearts of Iron without tea? It's not done, I tell you. The US turned into the PSA. I don't think so. No. US is this light blue, PSA is the yellow. It is still a four-way fight. Denmark is Kaiserreich Italy. Yeah, maybe. Iceland! Welcome to the good guys. I wonder what Denmark's going to do. Designs for a bridge. That's their industrial side. Danish, can't say Danish! Danish democracy. Monarchy, Republican. I don't think that's syndicalist. I don't even know if they can go syndicalist. Yes, they can. And this is a fully recovered Denmark. With 12 divisions. Loads of civilian factories, crikey. They could actually industrialize relatively rapidly. Question is whether they can hold off the Germans. I mean, the Germans are horribly distracted right now. And that is a very, very narrow corridor. I mean, if they can take the Kiel Canal and then hold it, that would be amazing for the Danes. It would be almost impossible to cross over. Socialist Republic of Liberia has capitulated. Oh. Iron and Kimberley, that's 3, 4, or 10. So southern Queensland would be the best investment. We are a little bit low on steel. And we are going to be investing more heavily in shipbuilding, so we're going to need that steel. So let's get the Queensland coal going. Plus we can also export our resources to the other socialist nations. Denmark's like the Netherlands, they never really managed to put up much of a resistance to Germany if Germany wants in. I mean, they could. Denmark could be a real pain to conquer because of all the crossings and also Kiel Canal, if they can hold the Kiel Canal. Albania declared war on Greece. Greece is in trouble. Although unfortunately this is after the Belgrade Pact. Otherwise this would super help out the Bulgarians. Oh, you're deploying automatically. Aha.
What are your orders, sir?
My bad. Plan to take the Dutch East Indies? Possibly. We shall see what opportunities present themselves. Right now I'm a little bit more concerned about France being at war with half the world. And I'd also really like to do something to try and help out the CNTFAI. The problem is I don't really know what. Oh, I see. You can't even access your focus tree. English and Italian assistance, but not French assistance? Really? And they're not going to be getting volunteers either. Nor are they getting Lend-Lease. Attaches are so freaking expensive. I'd really like to know what their gun deficit situation is like. If they have the soldiers in the units but with no weaponry, I'll send them some. But with their 0 manpower, I somewhat suspect that they don't. I mean, one nice thing is the CSA took New England, which means they actually have ports so they can accept Lend-Lease. So I think the CSA is winnable. CNTFAI, I'm not sure. Wow, that was quick. Did Denmark just give up? So I don't think they actually lost any big cities, did they? They certainly didn't lose Copenhagen. Oh, there are some more industrial things here. Okay. That's not what I want. I want this stuff. Oil exploration would give me a source of oil. That's actually really tempting. 12 oil and 5 oil. I mean, that's 17. And I have no oil. And if I want to use ships, we need a source. Sweden's Reichspakt, yes. Norway is international. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for the 2 civilian factories, and then oil, and then new resources, then military. Or maybe military, then new resources. Yeah, I think that's the best plan. A large number of our outdated rules are actually hindering industrial growth. A new law should be introduced to remove these impediments and arrange a system of incentives to companies which will erect large-scale factories in our cities. Do it. Don't know if you're into anime, but new anime has appeared. It's called Vinland Saga. Oh, yeah, I know about that. It's not a new one. That's been around for a while. And no, I'm really not into anime. Oh dear, Sweden's cut the Norwegians in half. Britain is being invaded by the Canadians. Oh dear. Britain? What the hell? You've still got a huge navy. Much bigger than Canada's. Germany still outnumbers you, so naval battles are going to be raging. Socialist Italy is dying. The French are pushing back, though. A little bit of Belgium has fallen, but they've pushed back against the Alps. Hopefully they're not just throwing manpower away, though, doing this. 1.4 million against 1.1 million. Germany has started actually fighting. Most of the losses are still British. France might actually do this. Right, and the Soviet Revolution never happened, even though I had it triggered to always happen. Oh well. Construction 3. We can build more, better, faster. 38, so I can't do anything from these. I could get better excavation. Get better guns. I do need to get motorized at some point so I can get field hospitals, though that's not critical. Naval doctrines would be. But which one? Could also get radar. And encryption, decryption. Is this the game where I had a random carrier? Yeah, but I deleted it, didn't I? Okay, so we are fully fleet in being at the moment. The other question would be whether I want to focus cruisers or destroyers, which is somewhat dependent on what I can build. Okay, we're going to have really good cruisers. So I think we're going to be... Fleet being would be better armoured cruisers, but regular cruisers would be base strike. Yeah, it's definitely going to be cruisers, hit and run. I mean, we could even go cruiser-based trade interdiction. The problem with that is they are terrible at submarine detection. And that can be really dangerous, especially if you rely on imports. Which we will. I don't think we're really going to have the aluminium for large-scale aircraft. Not to mention that aircraft require oil. No, we're going to have to be fleet and being. I thought I might actually do the submarine interdiction first. Book. I'll be right back.